What's up, guys? So first and foremost, before I get into some tips on how to get the most out of your rack chins, I want to remind you, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. If you like my content, give me the little thumbs up, and any questions, comments, concerns, or just want to feel some feelings, leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to give your feedback. And now we're going to dig into some good form and setup for rack chins. All right, guys, so I've got some form tips, cues, setups here for rack chin variations. I'm going to go over basically three main things for this exercise. So first, we're going to cover a little bit like what the hell is the point of this exercise? Why even bother doing it? What's the training goal? How does it fit even maybe within programming? Then we're going to go through some setup stuff and some actual tips as you're going through it. And then lastly, just give you a couple little tidbits as far as how to take the exercise through an actual working set. Just meaning, what's your thought process when you're actually trying to take this to or past failure, because it's going to be a little bit different than maybe some other exercises. So the first thing here we're going to do is basically, what's the point of a rack chin? There's two things the way that I think about it. One, pretty straightforward, is basically just a different variation of kind of a wide grip pull-up. So it could be almost the same as a wide grip pull-up if you position your body directly below the bar and if your spine and torso is relatively perpendicular to the ground. And the difference would be, obviously, if you have your feet up or feet on the ground, you're just using a smaller percentage of your whole body weight. So again, if you can't quite do wide grip pull-ups with your whole body weight, this can be a nice option. The other thing that this can provide is the opportunity to do basically more of a high row variation. So if you have your torso more like this, based on where you have your feet on the bench, then basically with that line of pull, it kind of works out to be more of like a high row. And again, very subtle differences, but I don't think there's one way that's definitively right or wrong. I kind of say go a little bit with comfort. And the big difference will be, as you're going into more of a high row variation, you might incorporate a little bit more kind of mid traps. So again, that's the thought process here. And really, what are we training with that? Same as kind of wide grip pull-ups. I would say it's actually more upper back stuff. So it's going to be mid lower traps, rhomboids, some rotator cuff stuff, and lats as well too, kind of depending on your lats and kind of your muscle bellies and insertions and things like that. Some people can actually get a lot of lat out of these, and some people it's going to be just a little bit more of an upper back exercise. So I'm going to use Cody's back to demonstrate first. So really the arm path here, just like you would for a pull-up. So again, if he's very vertical, and basically again, we want his spine or torso perpendicular to the ground, the arm path is going to go pretty much the same, right into your side. And you can pretty clearly see, obviously some lat can be involved as well too, but basically everything kind of right around and right below the shoulder blade, this is the focus. And so what I really like to think is, you're coming to the top and stretch, let all this kind of stretch and pull up. So it's going to stretch your lower and mid traps. Obviously your rear delt's going to get a bit of a stretch along here the way, as well as some teres and other stuff. And as you initiate the pull, pull your shoulder blade down first. So again, I like to pull focusing mainly with mid-lower traps, and then just let this upper back stuff pull as you go along. And the only difference would be, basically, I can't obviously have him have his torso forward without his feet up, but if you had your torso more forward and your upper arm moving the same plane, your elbow is just going to come a little bit more behind you, as again, depending on how you have that set up. So again, if your torso is a little bit more angled, then your upper arm is going to drive a little bit more behind you and have more of this stuff kind of the target. So instead of purely lower traps, more lats, you're going to get a little bit more mid traps involved, but very subtle difference. So I'm going to have Cody hop in there now and just give a couple form cues and setup. So mess around with, again, if you want to have your spine more vertical, so just when your feet go up, have your hips straight below the bar. Where we have this set up, if you have it pulled a little bit more forward like this, then his torso is not going to be quite perpendicular, a little bit more here. And you want the grip just outside of shoulder width. If you tend to get a little bit elbow flexion-y, a little bit more of a bicep involvement, then you can take the grip even a little bit wider. Now the wider grip will take bicep out of it, but it'll also start to limit how much your humerus can actually move. So actually limit to your range of motion a little bit. So kind of have a delicate balance between the two. Then from there, nice tall chest on this one. So kind of extended, feel like your chest is to the ceiling. So keep your spine extended the whole time. And I said, feel like you're really pulling your shoulder blades down and back first, driving your chest to the ceiling as you row. And that's perfect. Let's have Cody do two more. Shoulder blades down and back, chest nice and tall, focusing on that kind of mid and lower upper back. Perfect. And that's it. And so other things to consider here with variations is, if you're going to take a set far, obviously you can go as many reps as you can possibly go. The nice advantage to these as well too is, once you've actually done with your feet up here, you could just drop your feet in this position. So again, let's say he's gone all the way to failure, can't do any more, drop your feet right down. You use a smaller percentage of your body weight now, so you could extend the set a little bit further, do some more reps. And even if you got to the point where you couldn't do any more there, you can walk your feet almost underneath you, and to the point where you're basically almost doing like an assisted pull-up. You could actually use your legs to spot you a little bit. So one, even if you do it with your feet up and that's too hard to start, you could do one of those variations there. But then also, again, if you're going to extend a set, you're going to make a set challenging and hard, that's basically a way to do it. You could do failure with your feet up here, then you could go here, and then you could go your feet back. If this is too easy, you can also put weight across your lap. So again, you have your feet up here first. You can do 20 plus reps like that. Your program says to do 10, whatever it is. You can put a dumbbell in your lap. You can put a plate in your lap, depending on where you're in with the rack as well here too. You could even put a barbell across your back, across your lap, the same way that people do barbell bridges, where you might put a foam pad over the bar and put it across your hip. So again, it's really got a lot of versatility and a lot of options depending on how much load you can tolerate. And again, provides a nice place and program if you want some mid kind of upper back stuff, same as a wide grip pull-up, but again, with some more opportunity as far as the loading pattern goes here. All right, guys, so if you found all of that helpful, again, if you didn't in the beginning, please hit that subscribe, the like button, all that good stuff. Tell some friends, and I'll see you guys on the next one.